I was supposed to be at Orange County Zine Fest this weekend, but I ended up chickening out. Before I explain why I decided not to go, what is Orange County Zine Fest and what the are zines? Okay, so zines are these cool little self-published booklets that can be about anything you want. They're DIY, handmade, or photocopied. In other words, just very cheap to make because they're not meant to be fancy or mass-produced. Zines tend to be a labor of love rather than something that makes you rich, and you can use them to share information, express yourself, or whatever. And Zine Fest, like the one I was supposed to be attending this weekend, is an event where zine makers and fans of zines get together to celebrate independent publishing. If you're going to a Zine Fest as someone that's tabling as a zine maker, you'll usually have a table with all your displays out and things that you sell that are zine related. And if you're attending the fest as a customer or a fan of zines, you usually walk around the event buying or trading zines with a bunch of zine makers. Zine Fests are really fun. It's a great way to connect with other people that make zines, and I'm really sad to be missing the one that I was supposed to be going to this weekend called Orange County Zine Fest, which is just a zine fest in Orange County. It's being held at the Anaheim Public Library, and I was really excited to go, but just to be honest, I was having a lot of anxiety this week and I just couldn't bring myself to leave the house. When it comes to these events, the people that host them usually urge the people that are tabling there to promote the event because they want people to come and patronize the event. So it's really encouraged that you share the events on your social media and let the people that support you know where you're going to be to garner more attention towards the event. So it's a good turnout for all the people tabling so they could sell a lot of stuff and, you know, just overall have a fun event. But I don't think we talk enough about how potentially unsafe that is. To be clear, Orange County Zine Fest did not put any pressure on its vendors to promote the event. So this is in no way picking on Orange County Zine Fest. You know, in fact, they actually were letting everybody that was accepted into the Zine Fest table for free. There was no vendor fee. They're very helpful, very good event. I highly recommend it. So just want to make that clear. This is not a call out for Orange County Zine Fest. I'm just saying in general, as someone that is an artist full time, a lot of these art events and craft fairs and Zine Fest, it's usually very encouraged for you to do the heavy lifting to get people to come to the event. So they want everybody that's tabling to share it with their audience so their audience comes to the event, and it is an extra stream of income for people like me. So you do want the people that want to support you to show up and support you. But I'm personally starting to realize that I don't like that very much. My job as a creative is the only job I've ever had where I publicly announce where I'm going to be from what time to what time. When I worked at Target or FedEx or the movie theater or whatever, I never went on Instagram and was like,
hey everybody in the world, I will be at this location from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. if you want to come say hi to me.
Like, do you see how dangerous that is? And I'm saying all of this because that's what I do and what a lot of other artists and zine makers do in order to make an extra stream of income. And it's very necessary, and I love meeting the people that want to support me. Most people that follow me have good intentions and just want to connect with me, and I want to be connecting with those people. But on the other hand, there are a lot of strangers. You know, stranger danger kind of strangers. So now with the creative job I have, I go online and I'm like,
hey, strangers of the world, I will be at this specific location from this specific time to this specific time if you want to come and see me.
And like I said, I do believe most of my supporters have good intentions and want to connect. It's just the other people who don't have good intentions and have honestly traumatized the fuck out of me. One time this man DM'd me saying that he saw me at my event and wanted to approach my table, but he was too shy to say hi. And at first I thought that was pretty innocuous. I thought it was pretty innocent, you know? I was just like, okay, you know, that tends to happen sometimes, and I get like that with my favorite artists too. But then he came back after the event was over to watch me pack up my car.
Oh hell no!
Mind you, the time I'm packing up my car, it's super dark, and all the establishments that are around, because I was popping up outside of a bookstore, and all the establishments that were around are now closed because everybody's gone. The event's over. And so he told me that he was watching me pack up my car, still trying to muster up the courage to say hi, but he just couldn't. So he just watched me pack my car. And the fact that he was able to describe what I was wearing and describe my car.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and that was just a mild example of what I've been through. I don't want to scare anyone, and it's possible I could just be paranoid because, trigger warning, I have been stalked, I have been harassed, I have been assaulted in my life. And when an event is approaching and I have to promote it, I get very anxious. And if I have a weird gut feeling that's telling me not to do it, I just follow that. It sucks and I miss out on a potentially great opportunity because I'm stuck in my apartment having panic attacks, but I just follow that feeling because it helps me feel safer in the moment. I am not saying that I think this is a healthy thing to do, and I am working on it. So I have a lot of support around me and I have therapy resources and all that kind of stuff, but just sharing a little personal information about myself and just something that I think is important to keep in mind when you do art events and you promote them on your social media. Just be mindful who you share your information with. Be mindful of sharing your location and where you're going to be from certain times during the day. I'm just sharing my experience, okay? I just wanted to be able to explain why I'm making today's video. And I think people that are running a lot of these events should be taking care of most of the promotion, especially if you're paying to be there, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, that's why I'm missing OC Zine Fest. It's really unfortunate, but as Meg Thee Stallion says, bad bitches have bad days too. And that's just one of my days, but I'm not going to be a victim to it. I'm not. So instead, I decided to channel all of that anxious energy into setting up my own Zine Fest in my living room that I am inviting you to. And we're going to talk about Zine Fest. I'm going to show you my setup. I'm going to tell you what goes on at a typical Zine Fest if you're not familiar. And if you are familiar, then welcome to Bree's Tiny Zine Fest. I stayed up all night setting up this Zine Fest for you guys. I thought this would be a fun way to teach you about Zine Fest. If you're familiar with my channel, you've probably seen my most recent video about craft fairs. I do set up my Zine Fest table pretty similarly to the one that I do when I table at craft fairs, but instead of bringing all the different variety of products that I sell in my shop, I try to limit the things that I bring to a Zine Fest to only zine related products. This is actually really helpful because zines are so niche that the people attending most likely will love all your stuff. It's not often that you find zines or even zine related products out in the wild, so keep that in mind when tabling at Zine Fest. Try your best to keep the products you bring within the medium of zines to cater to the audience that's going to be attending. The first thing to know about Zine Fest is that they're usually free to attend, and when you first walk in, you'll be greeted by an information booth. They have this up in the front so they can give you a map of the event and a brochure detailing other stuff they will have going on. Zine Fest usually don't only have creators selling their art, but they may also have live music, workshops, food, and panels discussing zines. The welcome brochure will always include all of the event info, and here's an example of one I got from LA Zine Fest. You can see the details of the event, a map of all the zine makers, and a schedule of their panels and workshops. And here is your brochure for Bree's Tiny Zine Fest. When you open it up, you can find a map of where to find me. You can see details about this fest and a description of the discussion panels that I'm offering. Okay, so another thing about Zine Fest is that when you go, they usually have a couple of discussion panels, and the discussion panels usually last about an hour and a half, and it's just a big long talk about specific aspects of zines. At the end of the discussion, there might be a Q&A with the audience. That way you guys can develop a deeper connection towards zines or just a deeper understanding of a specific topic about zines. Instead of sitting here and giving you 2 one-hour-long TED Talks about zines, I decided to put my panels into actual zines themselves. The first discussion panel, aka zine, that I made for you guys is called Be Seen, Make a Zine, and this discussion will center around how creating zines is actually an act of courage. You'll be taught how to make your own mini zine, how to distribute them, and why it's imperative that you continue sharing your work with the world. And the hope is that at the end of this panel that you'll walk away feeling inspired. The second panel at my Zine Fest is a discussion about how zines can be used as a tool for self-care. In this panel, we'll talk about all the ways that zines allow us to acknowledge, honor, hold space for our emotions, and regulate ourselves. We will explore how making zines can be used to process and self-reflect our experiences, and using this medium as a tool for healing rather than just making zines as a product. If you want to read these zines in their entirety, or aka attend these discussion panels, stick around to the end of the video so I can share with you how you can get your hands on these. Another awesome thing about going to Zine Fest is that they usually have workshop stations or workstations where you can make your own zine. I actually bring my own workshop table to Fest sometimes because I find it's a great way to interact with people who approach my booth. I bring a bunch of zine making supplies where people can make their own zine for free, and if they have any questions about zines, I'm right there so I can teach them whatever they want to know. I typically will have this set up next to my merch table, so after they're done making their zine, they can come and check out mine. It almost always leads to really cool conversations about my work, their plans for their future zine projects, and then sometimes they end up buying some of my stuff. If you're tabling and open to trading zines with others, I suggest having a sign on your table that indicates that. Sometimes people will be too shy to ask, so having a visible sign that you're up for trading is super helpful. When shopping at Zine Fest, it's also highly recommended you bring cash because everything is usually pretty cheap. For the most part, you won't find any zines over $20, so if you bring cash, it makes it easier on the vendor so they don't have to have a bunch of small digital transactions. Everyone is different though, and I'm actually the kind of person who prefers payment through Venmo and PayPal, but others may only want cash, so it's safe to bring some just in case. Because I'm the only table at Bree's Tiny Zine Fest, you guys aren't getting the full experience of what it's like to walk around a Zine Fest and experience other people's tables, other people's art, other people's personalities, but that's okay because I'm an avid zine collector and I have a bunch of zines that I can show you guys, and we'll just pretend that we got them at Bree's Tiny Zine Fest. Just forget about how I hosted a Zine Fest in my apartment alone because I was too anxious to leave my house, and let's just pretend it was like a lively jumpin' actual Zine Fest where there were other tables here and you were able to buy goodies from a bunch of different people, okay? There are other tables here. I'm not forever alone. Well, I have a bunch of stuff here that I bought from Bree's Tiny Zine Fest, and I want to do a haul, but first I just want to say that when I go to Zine Fest personally, this is just something that I do. I tend to overspend, so I like to set a budget for myself before I walk into the building so I know what I'm working with. If you're like me and you tend to overspend because you want to support every artist that you see, I get it. I, as a person that vends and tables at these events, I understand how much preparation and how much work goes into even being at the event. So I do want to buy everybody's zines, but you may also need to eat food and pay your electricity bill and pay for rent. So I try to maintain a small budget for these things so I'm not overspending. So that's just a little tip I would give you to ensure that you don't go overboard. So it's always best to try to give yourself a limit. Okay, so typically when you leave a Zine Fest, you will leave with a stack of zines and zine related stuff. Like I said, I usually try to keep a budget. When I go to Zine Fest, my budget will usually be about $50 to $75 because like I said, zines are pretty cheap. You could get a lot with that kind of budget, but anyway, these are the ones that I have. I'm gonna start off by showing you the Sour Collective. This is a mini zine that came with it. This is the bigger issue, and look, it's all in color. And this one is called the Dandelion issue. So it's pretty much all about dandelions. It's really cool. Oh, look at how cute that is. So this is a dandelion. Am I pronouncing that right? Dandelion? Dandelion. Dandelion. You ever say a word too much that you're starting to like question if it's ever been pronounced right in your life? Dandelion foraging guide. That's cute. Look at dandelion flower tea. And this is the smaller one. It's not related to the dandelion issue. It's actually called Chronically Me, and this is by the Sour Collective. The person that runs it, their name is Madison Corley, and it says a mini zine about my experiences with being stuck in a chronically ill body. So this is a perzine because it is a personal experience of Madison's. And look at another full color zine. This is amazing. Look at how good the quality is. Ooh, and then it says scan the QR code below for resources and support regarding chronic illness and disabilities. So boom, scan it, scan it, scan it. Did you scan it? Here's another cool one I got. Okay, so this is technically a coloring book, but I'm gonna call it a zine because it looks like they did produce it pretty cheaply. It's all line art. Okay, I'm getting so excited, but it's called the Self-Love Coloring Book, and this is by Smile Cult. I want what wants me. Damn right. Damn right. I think $1 million wants me. I think. Okay, cool. This is something that you guys could get at a Zine Fest. I know that people make coloring zines, and this one is awesome. Like I said, it's called Self-Love Coloring Book, and it's by Smile Cult. You can find them on Instagram. I follow them. I am mutuals with them. I think Sandy is so cool. Sandy is the owner of Smile Cult. Okay, the next thing that I got is actually not a zine, but it is zine related. And like I said, there are a lot of zine related merch that you could get at Zine Fest, and this is actually a book. It's called The Zinester Manifesto by John Dishwasher. John Dishwasher. And this one is a big boy book. It's a big old bitty. It says on the back, they're trying to make a difference, they're trying to save themselves, and they're on a collision course with each other. Ooh, drama. So it says the first ever novel to feature an entire zine community. How cool. And I actually have read like half of this. I've been really busy, so I haven't been able to read the full thing. And I want John to know that I think that he did an incredible job with this book. It's very interesting. It's such a page turner. I think everybody should check it out. But I haven't finished it yet. So I just wanted to put that out there that I am reading it. This is something that I recommend. Every zinester should have this book, I think. And the next thing that I got is this cute little tote bag. It's like the size of a standard size zine, so you could fit your zines in here, which I absolutely did. You could see the zines in there. But this is the front of the tote with this cute little angel baby, and on the back it says, I only read zines, so obviously I'm gonna use this all the time. So inside are the zines by the artist. Their name is Annalisa, and this is their brand name. I really am afraid of butchering that, Brooksita Linda, so please follow them. They are a mutual of mine, so I do know them, and I highly recommend that you follow their Instagram. They have the cutest art too. They don't only make zines, and I'll show you an example of some of their art because they made a zine full of it, and here it is. It's called Inktober 2022, and basically just has all of their Inktober submissions, or prompts, I guess. First of all, how good the art is, right? But look at how opaque the black is. Look at how opaque it is. Like, it's just like the best print of black. I love it. And like I said, their art is super, super cute. This zine is by my dear friend Avery of Spew Zine. I love this zine. This zine is called On Avery Island, and it's a zine about everything that's just in her brain at this moment in time. A lot of it has to do about stories of her father. It has stuff about her boyfriend in here, and stuff about just being a woman in 2023, you know? Or at this time, I think it was 2022 when she wrote this. But look at this. This is the centerfold. I love it. This is a big one too. It's like 78 pages, I think, or 70. I don't know. It's not often that people will number the pages in their zine, but I just remember her talking about how long it was, and it is pretty long. So if you're into long zines like I am, I love a big hefty boy zine. So I absolutely love this. I remember reading it from front cover to back cover in one sitting and absolutely sobbing. I was sobbing because that's how good this zine is. It really gave me a good insight to my friend Avery, so I did want to give a shout out to On Avery Island. I think everybody should go buy this zine right now. I'm not sure if she has more for sale, but like I said, all the links to all the zine makers here are going to be in the description, and I want you to check out every single one of them. I love every single one of them, but Avery is my friend, so I do want you to look at hers maybe first. Like, maybe hers be the first Instagram that you follow. I don't know. And Bree's Tiny Zine Fest would not be complete without your own personal goodie bag from the event, right? So here is a goodie bag I made exclusively for Bree's Tiny Zine Fest 2023. It comes with all the stuff that I made just for this video, just for this Zine Fest, because I thought it would be really fun. So it has the welcome brochure in here. It has a Bree's Tiny Zine Fest sticker. I made a bone folder bookmark for you guys. I also made a sticker that says God Zines. There's also a pen that says God Zines. And then I also include the 2 zines from my discussion panels. So it has the Be Seen Make a Zine mini zine. I said zines a lot there. But then I also have the I Make Zines Because Therapy is Expensive zine, and that was the discussion panel on using zines as self-care. If you'd like your own handmade goodie bag from Bree's Tiny Zine Fest, you can grab one in my shop. This is obviously not required, but that was just really fun to make, and since I'm missing OC Zine Fest in Artist World, that's kind of like calling out of work, so I technically am missing a day of work. So if you would like to support me in that way, awesome. You absolutely don't have to, but if you're inclined to and you liked attending my Zine Fest, that would be a cool little memento to take away. So after attending my Zine Fest, I hope you're super inspired to attend one or even table at one in your city. And if you are, there is this amazing resource that lists every Zine Fest around the world. Yes, that's not an exaggeration. This amazing resource was made by fanzines on Tumblr, and they put together every Zine Fest that exists on the planet of Earth. So you must check this out if you're interested. I hope that there's one in your city or really close to you. Just really go through this Google Doc. It has amazing resources. I think it even includes like the pricing of some of them. It is a little bit outdated because I don't think it's been updated in a couple of years, but you could easily just see if there's a Zine Fest in your city and then Google it to see if they're still hosting it. And if you need even more tips about how to prepare for your Zine Fest through like your displays or how to keep organized, I do have a craft fair video like I've mentioned a couple times in this video. The thumbnail looks like this, and it contains a lot of information about craft fairs, but like I said, it can be applied to Zine Fest. I just like to keep my table at Zine Fest very zine specific, but that's a personal preference. You're allowed to sell whatever you want at Zine Fest. You can sell air fresheners, stickers, things that aren't related to zines, but just me personally, I like to just stick to zine related stuff. Thank you guys for supporting me and attending Bree's Tiny Zine Fest. I'm not sure a lot of people know this about me, but I tend to isolate myself a lot because I have a lot of trust issues due to my past experiences, and while I'm usually able to overcome them most of the time, there also have been times where I have panic attacks and I just can't leave the house and I'm paranoid again. You know, healing is not linear. One month I'm on top of the world and I'm doing every event and I'm out in public and I'm doing my thing and I'm meeting new people and I'm confident, and then there's another month where I literally don't leave my apartment or literally don't even speak because I'm alone so much. So being able to hang out with you guys is like the highlight of my week, and I really do appreciate you guys watching my videos and supporting what I do. Doing something like this today made me feel really happy and really safe, so thank you guys for being here. Anyway, be sure to leave me a comment about if you're doing any Zine Fest, or if you have any Zine Fest in your area that you want people to know about. Please use the comment section as a discussion board to further expand the zine community. I really want to hear what you guys are up to. If you have any zine projects going on or any zines you would like me to look at, please just leave a comment down below and let's chat. I'd also really like to know what you thought about my Zine Fest and if you'll be grabbing a goodie bag, because I hope to make a lot of those. I really hope to be able to send you guys some mail. Those are really fun. I really hope that this information was helpful for you, and I hope that this was fun and entertaining. And, you know, just remember to be kind to everybody, be kind to yourselves especially, and I'll see you guys next time.